Same outfit. That's so funny.
I know. I was just
Talk about the
thinking.
universe. Talk about the universe. That is hilarious. I can't. Things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So we are officially live. Obviously nobody's here yet, but I'm gonna do the whole intro and go through everything just so the recorded version is complete. So welcome, guys. It's been quite a while since I've done an episode here. I think we're up to episode. This is probably episode 11, which would be very telling as well. So welcome to the Nurse Patient Forum. We're here to talk about all kinds of things that we have encountered as nurses in regards to social media, especially our personal experiences regarding some online groups we've encountered. I'm here with Brandy today. As you guys know, my name is Allison. I'm an emergency room nurse here in California, and I have had some very intense experiences just existing online, especially with a group. I hate to like point it to one group, but they have very much kind of made themselves the center of this. So my experience was with a group that calls themselves the Chronic Illness Group of TikTok, Chronic Pain Group, what have you. I want to start this episode off by saying it is not everybody. It is not all of them. But there's a problem and we need to address it. And as somebody that has had to go to court and has been fired from a job and all these other things, this is stuff that's affecting us in real life as healthcare providers, and it's just not okay. So I'm going to have Brandy introduce herself. She has a very similar story, and she's going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about that.
My name is Brandy. I am a registered nurse. Last year, apologies if you hear my cats. They're incorrigible. Last year, I came home from work and was doing my usual winding down in the morning and was scrolling on TikTok when I encountered this particular creator who just kind of seemed like she was campaigning against nurses and saying that there was this mean girl to nurse pipeline, and that, sorry, did you lose me?
It just went out for a second. You're good.
Okay. Sorry about that. That basically we were in this power struggle. And the things that she was saying were really, really rude. Like, how dare we bother hourly coffee shop owners for a free cup of coffee that we're not even entitled to, things like that. And obviously there were comments where people were getting a little irritated, and it was just basically escalating her into making more videos. And this particular video that she made, she explained a situation, about a surgery she had, and there was a physician in the comments questioning the validity of the story for very reasonable, it was reasonable for him to do so.
This is where they go off the handle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm reading through the comments on these videos, and they're just tearing this guy up. I mean, they're like looking for his children. They're talking about what facility he might work for. Yep. Let's check on his license to practice medicine. And I'm like, oh my God.
Just the fact they're finding these people's first and last names is scary.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. So I innocently did comment that there were some problems with the story she was telling. There were tidbits of information that I know aren't true.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly moved on from it at that point. I didn't interact with this person anymore. But she had mentioned something in her video about pain management. And the particular surgery that she had was a neurological surgery. And I work in neurology. And a problem that we often have is that patients feel under-medicated, because you have to be really careful. You can't over-medicate neurological patients, especially in the acute post-op period, because when they're having a change in condition, the first way you're going to know that is a change in their mental status. But if they're sedated from any medication, including pain medications, you'll miss it. It might be too late for them. I made a 2 or 3 minute little video describing that. I never mentioned her name or anything. But she took great offense to this video, because I said in the beginning that I wasn't sure what the details of the surgery were, because in this video she had been describing a giant hole in the back of her head. So I didn't know if it was a surgical laceration or if she had a head injury. I
Right.
didn't know anything
And that's
about this
right of you
woman.
to question. I mean, we have these minds, you know, as nurses, and this is something we're being presented with in the public. We're going to ask questions.
Right. So I was like, I don't really know what the situation was, but, you know, and I went into more or less a textbook explanation of why we have to be careful medicating these particular patients. And that was it. I didn't get back on TikTok for 5 days. I spent the weekend with my family. We went to a summer solstice party, and
Living a normal life.
I did not know that I was like basically going viral on TikTok.
That's what happened to me too. It's very shocking to find that when you open your phone.
Oh, I opened my phone and I was like, why does this video of my cats have 10,000 views?
Did you get any messages threatening your life?
Yes, I couldn't even go through all of them. The first one I received is from a profile that still visits me regularly, and I think it's probably her.
Probably.
Said that I was an ableist piece of shit.
For language, that's their language.
Yes. I was going to be fired soon. I shouldn't have custody of my daughter. We're coming
Same
for
stuff
you.
that happened to me. They go through it's almost like a workbook they have or something. Like they go through the same thing with every nurse.
Yeah. So I'm like, what is going on? Because I also had tons and tons of comments on like one or two videos, including the video that I had made about nurses being mean girls.
Right.
And it was just, I couldn't even go through all of it. And the notifications were so frequent that admittedly I did start deleting some comments because I wanted it to stop. So they took
That's
this
not good
as,
for your mental. Yeah.
Right. So they took this as I was like deleting
they win.
evidence.
They win when yeah. Oh, we're winning. We're getting her.
Yeah. It was atrocious, but given, you know, what they were saying that they were going to contact my employer, I mean, because I finally figured out what prompted this, because she had come over to my TikTok and posted a response video to me. And then it was video after video about me. I mean, by the time it had been 5 days, she had a whole playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and was calling it.
It's not enough for them.
No, I mean, she was calling it the Mean Girl Nurse Saga, and every single video was about me. The second video was basically, it was just this short little video like, hey, I just heard that a nurse local to me is on here calling chronic pain patients weak ass.
Well, and again,
pussies.
In regards to my story, this is similar because they made this whole ChatGPT thing that they submitted a report to the FBI that I was committing hate crimes as a nurse. Hate crimes. And they reported that to my job. So like, because I reacted to your public video and my situation was a little different, but I questioned them and I said, what is this whole thing that's going on here? They lost their minds. Just like with you pushed in a little like, hey, that doesn't sound right. And they lost their minds, which to me is very telling, almost kind of like the administration currently. You say something that's true and they go bomb you. It's like, well, they're bombing us because we're right.
Right. So she made this video stating that I said that I was mocking chronic pain patients.
Yeah.
Chronic and calling them weak ass pussies. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I never said that anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't. Like, I didn't even want to. I was like, I don't think I've ever even typed that. And then not only that, the video I made wasn't even about chronic pain.
Yeah.
But in the comments, that did become a discussion.
They make it about that. Like, well, you're attacking my illness, my community. No, I have a question about what you're saying on the internet because it doesn't sound right based on my professional opinion.
And at this point, I didn't know that this girl had a chronic pain problem. I didn't know that she was considered to be disabled. I didn't know she had any I didn't know any of that information. But by the time I got back on TikTok, they were spinning theories that I had accessed her medical records and they were posting my full name, posting my facility. I was just like, I can't believe this. So I wasn't really concerned at first. And I was like, but just in case, I'm going to contact my manager and let her know this is going on.
So smart.
So this is a Sunday night and I text her and I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know this is going on. I posted this video and I sent it to her.
Good.
And the response is insane. And I just wanted to let you know what was going on, because already a provider from where I work, a provider from the facility sent me a message on TikTok and was like, I don't understand this negative response to what you said. You didn't say anything wrong. I don't get it.
See, that's the side of it that they don't see. They don't realize we have, relationships with the people we work. We're all professionals. We're looking at them like, as a group, like what is going on? It's not just us standing here. Like they think they're attacking us as an individual. No, you're attacking the whole nursing community by doing that.
Yeah,
And it's not okay.
So she's like, okay, well, she texts me the next morning, and I guess she had gone into work and was talking to the night shifters who were still there, the weekend crew, and was like, hey, okay, you guys watch this video and just tell me, like, am I crazy? Is it just me? Or I don't understand what is wrong here.
Right.
And she played the video, and they were like, okay, like, what's wrong with what she said? Like, and there she was like, I don't know. I guess these people are really upset about it. So later that day, I get a call from HR. Apparently, this woman called patient experience.
They love patient experience. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which didn't make any sense because she wasn't a patient of mine.
No.
So they had referred her. I found out later that they actually referred her to the HIPAA officer, because that's the only thing they were worried about. Really,
she was saying you were accessing her records. She was making
and obviously they wanted to make sure that in this video I did not violate HIPAA.
Of course.
So they watched, my video, and there was nothing there. So they audited my Epic activity, determined that I've never accessed her medical records, and that was it. But she had dug up a picture. She took a screenshot of a video that was like 3 years old, where I was sitting in a Starbucks in my scrubs, and I guess my badge was visible. Well, my account doesn't even say that I'm a nurse. So she had to go digging back and sent it to them and was like, she's talking about all of her patients, and none of that ever happened. So they do some, digging and look, and they're like, just anything that, is in scrubs or whatever, that's something that could get you in trouble. If you have anything like that, just take it down. Okay. We don't have a problem with your video. We would not, we can't even ask you to take it down. But if you do, it might make these people chill out, more or less. They didn't say it in those words, obviously.
Right. Well, they had your back, in other words. They were looking out for you, but also looking out for the patient and making sure everybody was safe at the end of it.
Right. Like, and they, offered me social media coaching, because then it appears that, okay, this person had an issue. While we didn't find anything, we will still offer something.
An intervention. Yeah.
Yes. So I agreed to that, and it was fine. So I made the video friends only, though, because I was like, I don't think I'm going to delete this.
You shouldn't. You never should.
Because by the time that all of that had occurred, I was already getting like threatening messages.
Yes. Well, it continues to escalate is the thing. When you don't just disappear off TikTok, they're going to continue to escalate.
Yeah. So I ended up, it was the middle of the week. It was a few days after this. And I got a message from this person on Instagram. This had spread all over Facebook, all over Instagram. I was getting messages on every platform. My coworkers were getting messages for defending me.
People I didn't even know from a job I had just started and been fired from, looking for information.
Yeah, it was crazy. And it said, I know where you live. And
they put my address all over.
And it said, you like making fun of people? All right, I'll see you soon, little lady. And I was like, oh my God.
That's scary, and that is psychological. And just to interrupt for a second, I had a few months ago, I had submitted like a research proposal to UCLA, because I feel like cyber harassment and mental illness and all this is not being like looked into. There's no studies. They had emailed me back asking for more information. So I'm really hoping that this is something I can push, because that would be my biggest like thing from this, is to make something change and to actually come up with a real intervention to this problem.
Yeah. I was scared. I was like, I don't know what to do here. I mean, this is never going to stop.
No.
So I was defending myself on TikTok the whole time, and I completely stand by that. I don't know why, but every time I, made any video defending myself, she took this as an an absolute crime against her. And I think she takes
Yeah.
everything in life like that.
Well, and you got to consider too their perspective. They live in this bubble where it's literally just about them. Like they come to the internet, their entire page is about me, me, me. Not like, hey, okay, I get the support thing, but it's like you're making it where you're on this pedestal and you're telling people to go attack a nurse. Like what dynamic is that? That is not a healthy use of social media.
I don't know. And it's not advocacy. That's what was really
No.
annoying to me, was that she was calling herself a patient advocate.
That's
And I'm like,
what it's like.
those people have to get a degree. Like those people are either
Something.
certified or, and they definitely don't engage in this kind of behavior. And if they are if an actual patient advocate was online creating content, if it resulted in threats against another person, they would take that down.
Yeah.
They would not. No, I mean, they would not do that.
You that. I'm so sorry to talk over you, Brandy, but this shows you that they don't know what patient advocacy is. As nurses, I've been a charge nurse. I've had to work with patient advocates, especially in the nursing home where patients were not being treated fairly and correctly. I've had to work with patient advocates. They didn't come in charging in my office saying, fire this bitch right now. Absolutely not. They said, okay, so-and-so, their skin is continuing to break down. We put these interventions in place. Nothing is really improving. What can we do? Like, what do I need to do here to help this patient have a better experience here? That's patient advocacy, not fuck you. I'm going to fucking kill you now.
Yeah, I'm going to destroy you and harass your family and, say that I hope you get cancer. And I was just like,
yeah,
I hope you get raped. I hope you get cut. Like that was the kind of messages that I was getting. So
that's not okay.
No, I was absolutely floored. They
hide behind those blank accounts to do that too, but we know it's them. Who else is it? Like it's not your neighbor, it's not your sister, it's not your mom, it's not some random person you work with. It's them. Yeah.
It continued all summer.
Yeah.
And it got to where I would shut down comments for a while. Eventually it died down. Mm-hmm. So weeks into that, I had been contacted by somebody else who said that you can report certain videos for copyright infringement.
Yes.
And she had pinned this video that tagged my employer, saying, is this the kind of person you want? And it contained screen recordings of that original video of me.
Yeah.
So I reported it for copyright infringement, and I didn't hear anything about it for weeks. Mm-hmm. Well, they took the content down. I found this out. It was like the end of September. And in response to them taking that video down, she posted my full legal name on her TikTok.
Do you have a screenshot of that, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And I was just like, I really don't understand why this girl thinks this is okay.
Right.
So, and at this point, I was like, I'm fed up.
Well, and Brandy, I think their goal is to make us lash out and make videos and then show our employer and be like, look, this crazy bitch is working for you. That's the
point. Yeah. Well, that's exactly what she did. Yeah. I made a short little video honestly, yes, I was poking fun at her because she kind of has this platform where she understands poverty, and I'm pretty sure she doesn't.
She doesn't.
But anyway. I had made a video about that, and I said the name of the town she lived in, although no mention of her name or anything like that.
Let me guess, you doxed her?
Yes, she said that I doxed her. And her response to this was so weird. So she's saying that I endangered her community, and she's at risk, and oh my God, I'm scared. And
that's what they do.
And then she makes a video of herself walking around her property so everybody can see what her property and her house look like on the outside. And I was like,
that's not smart.
If you're so scared, why did you do that?
That's those Freudian slips right there. That proves she's not.
Yeah. And then she made this video of herself, like, in full makeup, scantily clad. I don't know what she had her hand around, some sort of glittery cane thing, saying that like there's a sexual attraction between us or something. And I was like,
oh, that's weird.
something is wrong with this woman.
Yeah, well, it's mental illness for sure, and we know these people are very open about the fact that they struggle with mental health issues. But to come to the internet and use it as like that's not a healthy coping mechanism. Their mental conditions are spiraling. They're not having these issues addressed. They're going on the internet, taking out all their trauma, negative emotions, whatever, on some nurse that they see that represents the nurse in their nightmares. You know, we are that person now. So I think maybe if they block nurse talk as a whole, they would have a little less stress in their lives. And for chronically ill people, you would think managing your stress is like right on the top of the list. Why are you going to put yourself in a pool of stress? Why would you do this?
I was just, I was blown away by that. So I had searched out her name and address way earlier in the summer because for legal reasons, I thought I might
You need to
it.
know. Yeah.
And so I sent her a cease and desist. I did not consult with a lawyer. Like it didn't come from a lawyer.
You could just send that yourself. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It didn't come from a lawyer, but I did consult on what possible laws that she had already broken by her behavior.
Yes.
And I sent it, and I thought, I really didn't want to keep this going, but at this point, it's just never going to stop.
Right.
Her response to that cease and desist blew my mind.
They laugh. They think it's funny.
Oh, she made a video asking everybody to download the video. I'm of sound mind and body. I would never leave my family. This person is stalking and harassing me.
You would think you were Epstein. You would think you were Epstein.
I was like, what part of that cease and desist made her do that?
Well, because you finally put down like a solid foot. Like, listen, I'm a professional woman. You're not going to go slander and defame me on the internet. And to my employer, you need to stop. That's a problem. Me asking you to stop is a problem. Well, that's very telling.
Yeah, I was just like, I can't believe that's her response.
I had the same.
So yeah. A couple days after that, a policeman knocks on my door, and I'm like, I woke up like I was getting ready to go to work, and I come to the door and I can't even see. And he's like, ma'am, is there a woman in Claremont County who is seeking a protection order against you? And I was like, probably. That sounds, and he was like, well, it was denied.
Thank God. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, here's your paperwork, and you're gonna have a hearing and this and that. And I was like, okay. I'm thinking at least I get a hearing,
That's huge. Yeah.
Right. But you know what? It didn't end up going anywhere because the first hearing was continued, which I learned later was like pretty much how it always goes.
Yeah.
And then the second hearing, she didn't show up, and she had stated that, at least on her TikTok, that she was hospitalized and that the courthouse was unable to, do any kind of like virtual. And I was just like, well, that's not true.
No, I've had multiple court dates with these people, and I've had people actually in the hospital testify, give witness accounts for me from their hospital bed. So that's bullshit.
Right. And if she had said something, if she was admitted to the hospital, that's considered extraordinary. Sure. If you're admitted to the hospital, then obviously you can't be there.
Obviously, you probably wouldn't be able to post on TikTok, but anyway.
Exactly. And anyway, she said, but if she had said something to her nurse or one of her MDs, they would have gotten care coordination involved. Absolutely. And they would have handled it for her.
Absolutely.
Not only that, she said that the clerk said that she didn't need any documentation of her hospitalization. And I'm like,
that's new.
Even if somebody said that to you, why would you accept that as true?
I would say, no, I'm going to bring my documentation. I wanted to let you know that I was there.
Well, since you had offered to appear for me as a witness, I had already looked into that.
Okay.
Ability for because obviously I'm in Ohio, you're in California.
Yes.
For somebody to appear virtually. And it was, they have a whole protocol for it. It's a document on their website.
Yeah, I think 4 states now I've had court dates with virtual appearances regarding these matters. So that's just not true.
I was like, why? My conclusion here is she knows she doesn't have any evidence that she was ever in any physical danger from me. Mm-mm. And additionally, she still gets to be the victim because they dismiss the case because they, aren't going to allow a continuance for less than 48 hours notice.
Right.
with no documentation of what
Clearly,
you're
you're not that
claiming.
threatened. Clearly, you're not that threatened.
Right.
Yeah.
But then also, bonus, I never get to tell my side of the story. And I said that in the courtroom. I said, honestly, I'm tempted to agree to a mutual continuance just because of the fact that she got to come here and say her piece.
Yeah.
Didn't she? And yeah, I mean, the judge is just like, I agree, yeah, completely. But unfortunately, if she's not here, I can't hear evidence. And I was just like, dismiss. Yes, let's move to dismiss. And he did. So, and they're over there still on her TikTok discussing whether does her employer know she's harassing a disabled person. This is a person I've had no contact with in almost
Exactly.
a
And it's
year.
not harassment because you're telling your experience of what they did to you. You'll never stop telling that story, and that's their problem.
I mean, it's insane. It really is. I mean, people at work come up to me and they're like, oh my God, everything okay? Any update? I mean, she
Listen,
led
me
me to
too.
believe that my
Yeah.
community, the people I work with, the people in my community all agreed with her and
I
were
think
coming
they're
after me.
confused about the nursing community. They don't know how we really are.
Everybody that has heard this story has been
Yeah.
absolutely blown away and disgusted by
Yeah,
these people's
me
behavior.
too. Me too. I work in Los Angeles now, so like I work with a lot of different nurses that use social media, and it's kind of ironic, but nothing happens by coincidence. I truly believe this. I used to work right here. I'm looking at the hospital I used to work at. That's the one they got me fired from. I lost a $50,000 sign-on bonus, right? Because they called. They said I was a rapist, is what they said. They said I called and I set up the rape of my underage sister 10 years ago because she slept with my boyfriend, which literally destroyed my life too. But anyway, and that's not here nor there. That's what they used to get me fired. So basically, I ended up going back to travel nursing. I ended up making way more money. It ended up being way better, all that. So I work 3 hours away from here now, right? My boss that had to give me that paperwork from this hospital here now works with me there, and we're like this. So they're confused at what they think they're doing by trying to wreck our reputation and, oh, I'm going to tell her boss this and that. Okay, well, I save lives with that person. I work next to that person and kick ass fucking 12 hours, 3 times a week. You're not going to do that.
Yeah, it's a special bond when you do
Absolutely.
CPR together and
They'll never
intubate,
know.
all of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that's a huge part they're missing, and that's why they're not being as successful as they want to be, because they don't get that people have our back. They're not going to come on the internet and make videos like them, but in real life, they have our back. And that's why we're employed. We're very strong and successful nurses, and they're sitting there crying on the internet. You're not helping your chronically ill community by doing that. You're inducing stress, fear. It's fear mongering is what it is. And then when those patients come into my ER and they're like demanding things, it's because of people like Bonnie, people like Janina, these people that make these platforms. Oh, I'm a chronically ill creator. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Well, you're destroying the bond between the nurse and the patient severely.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the misinformation
Yes.
and everything is completely shocking to me. The last, update I heard from anybody, because people share things with me. They're like, because
Sure.
I have several friends who are watching my back, that she's unsure if she's going to refile this restraining order against me. And I
Good luck.
initially was like, should I file for one? I mean, I don't know. I don't really care what she's saying about me on the internet
No, but it's
anymore.
your job and your profession and your career
Right.
that she's
I just
slandered.
don't want them to contact my employer
Right.
anymore.
Well, I was able to get a restraining order for that purpose. So if you need one, you will be more successful than her. I'll say that.
Right. Yeah. And I thought about it and I was just like, I don't want it to appear as though this has been dismissed. It's considered over. I don't want to be the one to
To
instigate,
react. Yeah, I get that.
especially
And
if
that's
it's a
your
person
nurse
that
mind.
I
Yeah,
think something's wrong with her. I
exactly.
don't, I don't know if as a nurse, I'm comfortable going
Do
after
it.
a person who I know has something wrong with her.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
I
need
would
to
agree.
look at her medical records to know that she has got a mental health problem.
That's the thing I say, because the woman in Illinois, she keeps trying to tell all my jobs that I steal her medical records and all this. I don't know this person, but it's like I don't understand like what the end goal is really, because we're not. doing much by getting restraining orders and going to court. And you know what I'm saying? Like in real life, if we want to make real change, like real patient advocates and nurses, that something's wrong, we need to change the approach. We need to have conversations. These people will not talk to us. They will not come in a box up here and have a conversation with us because it's so personal to them. They're just feeling like they're being attacked whenever we say, hey, that's actually not true in the nursing world. I'd like to go into that a little more. And then they put up the wall and they attack us and want to kill us.
I attempted that. I mean,
yeah,
you know, when I was in the comments on that video that people were so upset, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I do not withhold pain medication just because, you know, medications are ordered. I give them unless I have a clinical reason to be worried about giving them. Wait a minute.
Well,
It
to
did
them,
no
it's we like
good.
them or we don't. If we withhold the medicine, we just don't like them. That's the thing.
Yeah, it did no good. And I even asked, you know, I commented directly on the one video that got people so upset. Can you point me to where I made such a statement? And initially she replied, like, you more than insinuated this, something like that. Before I could reply to
They
her,
fully
she
put
deleted
words in
it.
your mouth. Yeah, they fully tell you what you're thinking. Because my thing that started it off was my Zyprexa video. I don't even know if you ever saw that. It was basically the sound that was going around, like, you have 30 minutes, and then like the screen gets blurry, and then basically I'm saying the medicine's gonna work, the patient's gonna go to sleep. Like, I didn't say I'm gonna hold them down. I didn't say it's Zyprexa. First of all, it's not like it's a B52 or something. It's really not gonna do that much. So they were saying that I was holding people down against their will. Meanwhile, I was talking about like large combative men that come to the ER on meth and alcohol and all these things. I'm not holding them down even if I wanted to. But like, you know, just trying to insinuate that I was using my position as a nurse to harm people, to put people in danger. And, you know, I was basically using this position of authority and taking advantage of it. That's what they were putting out to the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sad. I mean, it's affected a lot of things, you know. I mean, I check my back seat every time I get in my car now.
I had my car broken into throughout all this, and I found out that they were talking to my 15-year-old daughter, and they had her go in my car and steal my Apple Watch and do all this stuff because they were accessing my text messages. They had photos from my camera roll. Like, they were posting all this on those burner accounts, like inappropriate photos of me that I had in my camera roll, like things that my daughter stole from me because these people got in her head. Like, it's really deep. It's really bad. This has ended up in family court now. These women will all be involved at that level because they're still communicating with my 15-year-old daughter now that she's with my mother because of all this stuff. It's absolutely insane. And it's very sad that it's come to this, but I mean, this is what happens when people cry wolf. They, you know, my daughter's 15 years old and I told her she couldn't have a boyfriend. Of course she's going to be like, get me the fuck out of here. You know,
Yeah.
her dad is he's not involved, you know, that's why she's living with his mom and my mom, and she's going between two houses now. It's like, I'm a very successful, stable individual. I have my own home. I have my own car. I have my own career. I have my own things. Like, why would you feel that's appropriate to bring this online issue to that place? So now my daughter is all fucked up and traumatized because of this. And it's been a very, you know, challenging process to navigate. I've had so many calls from CPS for what's going on over there. You know, he's crashing vehicles under the influence with her. Like, these women did everything possible to put my daughter in that position because they thought it would hurt me. No, I'm not hurt. I'm living my life out here. My daughter's 15. She's a young woman. But it's like, this is the length these people will go to because they didn't win. They didn't get me. They said I would never work as a nurse in California ever again. That's what they said. And I have videos of that. And I'll clip all that in here. But you don't get to decide that. Because that didn't work for them, they then collaborated with my estranged family, my mother, who has all kinds of issues with me, and she was feeding them this information. So they then put statements up like, my mother had made public statements. The 50 reports went to the Board of Nursing, mind you, 50 in 2 states. None were validated because they were all like, I don't like this video. This person made me cry. Like, you know, just stuff that's not a nursing issue. You need to read the Nurse Practice Act if you want to go against nurses and try to get them in trouble.
Yeah.
So that backfired.
I mean, I've talked to a nurse advocate when this was going on that one of my friends, he teaches in NCLEX prep.
Nice.
And he said, and he had followed her on TikTok, and he was like, you probably should really talk to her and see what she has to say about all this.
They
So I
won't.
did. She was so, I mean, it was the 4th of July. She called me from her home and talked to me for
Oh,
like
wow.
an hour. It was, I mean, and I felt so much better. But the reason why I wanted to talk to her is she was a former investigator for a board of nursing
Oh,
somewhere.
love that.
So she was like, if they provide some sort of proof that something was violated, then yes, an investigation will be
Sure.
opened.
As it should be.
Right. But if not, it's going to be
Garbage.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. More or less is what she said. And I never heard a word
No,
out
me
of,
either.
the BON. I mean,
Actually, you know, it's funny. I did hear a word, but not about that. They had asked me to participate in some kind of study that they were doing, and they were going to pay me like $1,000. So I guess it put me on some kind of list because they're asking me to do all these surveys and pay me stuff now. So maybe I need to get more involved with the board directly, and there needs to be like a cyber section or something because the amount, like, it's so many reports that come in on one person from all over the country. Those people need to be held responsible. You don't use a system like that. That's
right.
abuse.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was talking to my sister-in-law about this because my sister-in-law is a midwife,
Oh,
and that
nice.
was that was another thing, was that I shamed birthing mothers, and I'm sitting here thinking, if they only knew that
Like I was a birthing mother. Like
I'm the only person in my family who is in healthcare and is not a midwife.
I can't. That's
So
actually pretty insane. That's crazy.
what I said was not taken offensively by them or anybody they know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, they tried to say that I was shaming the autistic community. Meanwhile, half the people in my life are autistic. They're like, "Girl," I said on the spectrum or something. Apparently, that was a slur. So
oh, I have an autistic daughter and I've never heard of that being a slur,
it's
but
not a slur. Yeah.
yeah, so I explained to her in a text, like, it's dismissed, it shouldn't even show up for court, and she's like, what she's doing is litigation abuse. That's
Yes.
absolutely what she's doing.
Yeah.
And I was
And they
just like,
use the "I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm frail, I'm attacked" whole thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know. It was the whole experience. I personally feel that she's not gonna go away. I'm
No.
just gonna wait until she rears her ugly head again, and I guess I'll just deal with it.
Yeah. As it
I
comes,
did
because
nothing wrong,
no,
so
exactly. That's what I was going to say. You know where you stand. For me, this is going on 2.5 years. It will not go away. And I intend to fully make a documentary about this, all the things that I've been through. I mean, this has escalated to a point very dark. It should have never, ever went there from some strangers online. The main woman that was harassing me is a wanted in Pasco, Florida right now. She's a wanted criminal, a felon. But you have a platform with, she's now banned from TikTok, but a platform with however thousand many people giving all this advice, misinformation, disinformation, go after this nurse, here's her personal information. That is not okay. That is not only abuse of social media, the legal system. I mean, just everything. I can't tolerate it and sit by, and I have to do something to make it different.
yeah. I don't know what's gonna make it change other than the platforms. I mean, the first thing that I was told when I got the death threat, I called the police. I mean, that's what
Me
I
too.
was told to do. They
Document
came
everything.
here, they visited me. I showed them the messages, I showed them her content. And I was like, I just don't know what to do at this point. And they were absolutely like, they were so shocked. They were like, I can't understand why you've gotten a death threat over that video. I can't understand
Well,
that.
my police station acted the same way, and they were so helpful. They helped me document everything. They assigned me a detective to the case, and now because I have the restraining order, it goes to the district attorney. Like every document, every time they post my name, every time they post my daughter's name, my daughter's on that restraining order, and they're actively just violating it every day that they interact with her, like blatantly saying they will wipe their ass with the restraining order. Like that's crazy to me. I respect the law. I don't know why these people don't, but apparently they think they're above it. And I think it's because their whole life they've gotten away with, well, I'm sick, so I can't be punished. I'm sick, so this. I'm sick. I'm chronically ill too. You'll never know because I don't fucking talk about it. But it's like it's become these people's personality, and now it's like a group. It's a trend on social media, and that is so dangerous. Look at all the illness fakers that we've seen, cancer fakers. They infiltrate these groups and then they take over. It's like a cult.
Yeah. There's definitely, which this, my particular person, I don't know what actually she does have or doesn't have.
Right,
I
of course.
will say that the way that she portrays herself on her TikTok does not exactly sync up with what she's putting out there.
Yeah, well,
I
not a strong
mean,
advocate for sure.
no, and she just, she's, disabled. She doesn't work because of that. And I'm like, but she does all of these things on her TikTok
It's
that
like they
she,
find a way when they want to, is the thing. But my other thing is,
yeah,
do they understand what a disservice they are doing to this community that they've created? I mean, you guys have a terrible reputation. You're the bullies of social media. Nurses are afraid of you. We're gonna get another nurse to be your caretaker if you're in the I don't want, if I see one of those women in the hospital, I know my career might be in danger. So I
yeah,
need to just not.
yeah. I just recently, I think it was like yesterday or today, she was, this offended me so much. She basically compared herself because of chronic illness and disability to the military service members who are going to die over in Israel or Iran and all these places
That's
that
not
were. And I was like, and she's comparing it to, well, because of lack of health care, because I can't even get us, this covered. And it's like, well, probably, and I won't say why I think probably her insurance
course.
is not covering, because if she's actually disabled, then you would think that that's a state thing. I know because my daughter is,
We know these things.
and
Yeah.
she has Medicaid, and Medicaid doesn't deny much if you've got it for disability.
Especially if you're
So,
dependent on something like a feeding tube or infusions or whatever have you.
right, and the things that, I know she says something about POTS. I have actually taken care, I work with a few people who have POTS. And I've taken care of people, and I know that can be debilitating.
Oh, for
It's
sure. But the thing I
absolutely
feel like
terrible.
also is happening is people are seeing people who truly have these things, POTS, EDS, CRPS, and all of a sudden, these very rare conditions, 85% of TikTok has it in their bio. Why is
Hmm.
this happening?
Yeah, these are rare disorders. They're, it's not like asthma
Extremely.
or, a cat allergy or
Exactly.
eczema.
Exactly. So
So,
it needs to be studied. It needs to be looked into.
yeah, I was highly, I thought, I can't believe she's comparing herself to somebody who's, handing their life over
I think that shows you where
in
they
a war.
that shows you how they view themselves though. They really are that the only one, that they
Yeah.
are middle and the center of everything.
She's made several videos. I was the perfect child. I was the perfect friend. I was the perfect student.
Oh
I'm a
wow.
perfect patient. So basically everything negative that's ever happened to her, she has no responsibility for
Yeah,
or
that's
in. She takes none. And it's everybody else. And not only is it every negative thing she's not going to take any responsibility for, it's a crime against her.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, the
But I
perspective.
think that's a running theme, Brandy. I think that's a running theme because with my person, Janina, the woman, the wanted felon, it's everybody's fault. She's homeless right now, mostly because she has terrible karma because of what she did to me and tried to cause problems in my life. And because she put so much energy into that instead of maybe figuring out her living situation. Anyway, she came to the internet and said that the state of Illinois, she said this yesterday, is relocating her because I'm stalking her. No, you're homeless and you were squatting again. All she does is squat. She never pays rent. She stays there until she lives it out. I found out her last landlord was a nurse and she kicked her ass out because she didn't like what she saw and she also wasn't paying her. So now she's homeless again and it's my fault and she's being put in a witness protection program. That's what she's telling the internet.
Yeah, I had the same experience. She was telling everybody that my facility, naming my facility, wouldn't
That,
respond to her request to know whether or not I accessed her medical records, which was a flat out lie. When she was
they
doing that,
closed the investigation. There was nothing.
I thought maybe they haven't responded to her. And I genuinely did this. I thought, okay, maybe I can call them
Hmm.
and ask them to, and maybe she'll like calm down. Like maybe she'll feel better.
Well, that's what I try to do. Have a conversation. As nurses, that's the first course of action. De-escalate. That doesn't
Yeah.
work with them.
So I call patient experience and I say, I don't know if you remember me, but a woman called and placed a complaint about me over a TikTok video. And of course, she's like, Yep, I remember. And I said, okay, well, this woman is still very upset. And I'm still, at this point, I'm still getting threatening messages. Um, and she's saying that nobody has reached out to her to resolve this. And I'm wondering if I can ask somebody to do that. And they
Yeah.
were like, well, you would have to talk to the HIPAA officer. And I was like, okay, why? And I was like, wait a minute. I thought this was like a complaint about
It
me as a
is.
nurse.
Yeah.
She made a privacy complaint? Okay. So I'm
Well,
like,
that's
all
them
right.
escalating. They escalate to get you in more trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. So I leave a message with our HIPAA officer. I didn't hear back for, I think it was a couple of weeks or something. And she calls me back and I explained to her, it might be helpful if you reached out to her to let her know, I was let know by my boss that obviously I had never accessed her records.
Of course not.
And she's like, well, how long has she been saying that we never contacted her? And I was like, at least several weeks.
Because now she's talking on the facility.
And I was
Not
like,
you.
yeah. And she's like, well, all I can tell you is that we respond to all privacy complaints in writing.
Oh.
And I was like, so she's just lying. She's just telling lies.
Exactly. And they think we don't see what's going on in the back end. Like, they're telling us what the resolution is, if there is one, or lack thereof, whatever. Like, we can line things up. And for you to go to the internet and, first of all, when they don't get what they want with you, like they didn't get you fired, right? So now they're going to start to talk bad about the facility. So I'll insert a video here when this is all posted and stuff. But basically, they started naming the facility, said that they're going to escalate to the Department of Health and JCO and all these things, and that tightens up their butt real quick. They don't want none of that, especially because this hospital that I was employed at had recently had a case with $250,000 of missing fentanyl. Just had no idea where it went, so they didn't want any eyes on them. Okay,
Yeah.
so when they're calling 10, 20 calls an hour, this person's a rapist, she's going to do all these things in your facility, they specifically said she's not safe to take care of sexual assault victims. Like, how dare you? I have taken care of so many people in such sensitive situations, and that's something that I'm very passionate about. Fuck you. Don't you dare take me out of that situation, because those people need me, and nurses like you and all the other nurses that they think that they're going to go and slander and defame and take them out of a place that they're actually doing. I'm a highly skilled nurse. Do not remove me from my environment.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that she might have got a little worried about saying things about the facility, because the second time she contacted my employer was because of the video where I said the town she lives in.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they're like, she's in her own home, basically. She just got referred to HIPAA again.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
again, they audited my Epic activity and found that I never accessed any of her information.
They think that what do they think? Like, they're not going to look into it? Like, there's proof.
I don't know. And so she puts all these videos up, like the wheels are in motion. Her facility is way aware of what she's doing. They're well aware. And I hate to make a single mom have no job, but she's done what she's done.
My job
and
2 weeks before Christmas, I was jobless because of these people.
Yeah. I was just like, so I heard nothing for about a week. And then I'm home laying on my couch and my boss calls. She's like, hey, just letting you know that lady, that Facebook person or TikTok person, she's bothering, like, she didn't say bother. She said she's calling again. And, obviously you're not in any trouble because you didn't do anything. But HR thought I should let you know that this is going on. And I was like, I cannot believe, like, she said so many things that they said to her, and it's lies. Well, it was really interesting. After our initial hearing, the one that was continued, she took those 3 particular videos where she was discussing my employer. Those came down that night.
They probably reached out to her. They probably said something.
They may have. I don't know.
They have big lawyers. They're not fucking around with that shit. They're not going to let some lady slander their multi-million, billion-dollar facility. Not going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, and if they did, I would never know because of privacy and stuff. I would never know if
True.
they did. I don't know. Wasn't told anything like
That's
that.
kinda how it goes, so I assume they did, but,
Yeah.
who yeah.
If they did, that would be great because that might be the actual reason why she was, conveniently too ill to go to the second hearing or go any further with
Well,
this.
because
I
I
don't
think the
know.
judge would have turned it around and said, "You're abusing my system, and I don't like it." Okay, because that's what happened
Right.
with me. I had actually another nurse. Her name is Jenny, and I don't know if you've seen any videos about her, but she like hangs out with this group for some reason, which is so strange because like she's not chronically ill. She's not. She's like one of the like they go after nurses. Why are you over there anyway?
Yeah.
So you want to be an ally, cool, whatever. She's like an ally with everybody, but she's just very fake. So she basically decided that she was going to get a restraining order against me because I was harassing her and all these things, right? So she petitions California, San Diego. She gets like the hearing and everything. So I show up, and through all of these, I have represented myself every time, and that's why I'm going to go to school to be an attorney now. That's my next step. But anyway, they've really inspired me. These people have changed my life. I can't tell you, for the better. But so she takes me to the court. She tells the judge that her sons are like 17 and 19, mind you, right? She had to have a police officer stationed at their school bus because she's so afraid. This person lives in Illinois. I'm in California, but they're afraid. She had to stay at an undisclosed location because I'm doing all these things and threatening her life. Like, what are you talking about? Okay. So the judge basically said, this is shameful what you're doing, especially you're both nurses. She gave it to me too, because like, I mean, obviously I'm going to defend myself, but I probably should have never engaged with these people to begin with. But I don't think the judge understood how severe, like, this is real life. It's not like I could just shut my phone off and they go away. No, I'm going to work and I'm getting pulled into the office because they're calling saying I'm a rapist. That is not okay. And this is
Right.
a problem that is becoming, it's not just me. I've encountered so many nurses. I've encountered you. I've encountered other people that they do this too. It's a hobby of theirs. This is not advocacy. So either way, long story short, that woman did not get her restraining order. It was dismissed, just like every other one that these people have tried. I've been to court at least 4 times. There's another woman in Minnesota that tried to do the same thing. She's part of this group. Her thing was dismissed. She tried to bring like 3 or 4 of us to court, and she was laughed out of court. But it's very apparent they are abusing the legal system, and I don't like that. I think that's a problem.
Yeah, it is. It wastes time. I mean, if you're going to drag a bunch of people to a hearing for you to get a protection order, use the court, the judge and everybody that works there, everybody that's got to make all of this happen, the clerk, waste their time.
I don't
What
think
you're also doing is delaying legitimate hearings.
Yeah, real victims, people who have
People
been
who
assaulted,
really
people who
are
people
in
who are in danger.
danger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Selfish. It's a me victim mindset. They all have it. I don't know what it is. It has to do with mental illness, but it's something like, yeah, maybe we sound kind of bitchy and stuff talking about it, but it's a real thing. And as nurses, we don't sugarcoat stuff, and that's why we're mean girls. That's why we get the mean girl rap. Because I'm not gonna just say, okay, let me slam 10 milligrams of Dilaudid into you because you like it. No, you're not getting that.
Yeah, I
Like,
can't do that. I mean, I can't do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
no.
It's
So,
funny that you say that about being an attorney because there was a nurse I work with who said something right before all of this happened to me. She must
wow.
have been seeing this on TikTok, the mean girl nurse thing.
Yeah.
And she was like, I think if everybody just thinks nurses are all mean girls, maybe we should go be attorneys. I
Girl,
was
we would
like,
kill it. I know that I'm meant to be an attorney, but I want to do both because I feel like there's something I can do with this. Like there's some kind of calling here for me. I don't know what it is, but there's an issue. I see it. And as these people calling themselves patient advocates, they're not doing anything to fix it. They're just being like rabid pit bulls and roar, roar, roar at everything you say. Like, no, we need to have a conversation. Since this started, I said, let's talk about that video that upset you. Why did it upset you? What can we do as nurses to be better on social media? That's what a real advocate wants to talk about. They want to
yeah,
get to the bottom of it. They run away every time. I've tried to get them on live streams. I almost got one of them on a live stream when I was in Vegas, and then all her friends told her not to do it because I was going to use it against her or something. Like, they are not advocates. They are the furthest thing from advocates. They are putting patients in danger. They're doing the opposite of advocacy, and I didn't even think that was possible. They are putting people in danger, and they are making nurses hesitant to want to care for people that are a little bit difficult, because you might come from my nursing license and then I don't have a career anymore. I'm just going to say, you know what, I'll go take care of Millie over there, the 96-year-old dementia patient that's a little confused with the UTI, and Bob can get the crazy one over here, or the mentally ill person that's not really in their right mind right now, because I'm afraid to take care of them now.
Yeah, oh my God. I wonder if eventually, laws are going to have to change,
They
because like I
have
was saying before, the cops, when they came, they were like, have you tried reporting all of these things that they were looking at? They're like, and
to.
TikTok won't do anything. And I'm like,
No,
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 it's
they encourage it.
moderated by AI. They don't take anything down. It doesn't matter. And what can I do? I mean, there's no, and even the magistrate, the judge that was at the second hearing that she didn't show up to, said this to another person who was having a hearing.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can be done about somebody saying something about you online.
Right. Unless it's black and white defamatory.
Right. Like nothing, people making videos, talking about
They can
things.
say you're ugly. They can say that they don't like you. They can say you're a bitch. Sure, that's their
Right.
opinion. Yeah.
But I think what's going to have to happen is that they're going to have to make it so that social media platforms are held accountable for content that results
or
in
the
harm.
person, like, you shouldn't be able to have an anonymous account and put 500 videos of a woman or whoever, a nurse, me in this case. I have so many pages of just all these distorted videos of me saying I'm a bad mom, I harm my patients, I steal drugs from my job. You can't say that.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to have to happen, because only then are they going to start to worry when people start to complain about things.
They need to take it seriously that you
if
don't
they
get
could be held legally liable for
Right.
something like that, then they might actually do something. I mean, the person who went after me, she gets paid to do it. She's monetized.
Exactly.
She's considered a micro influencer.
That's the other thing we have to talk about. These people are getting monetized for terrible behavior, for bad behavior. There's nothing she's positively contributing to the nursing community, the medical community, the chronic ill community. Nothing. It's all toxic energy, very like messy. I want to fight, I want to get someone in trouble. The end goal for them is always to get somebody fired and have them in a bad position, because they're unhappy with where they're at right now. So instead of looking inward and using that energy to maybe work on their physical health, because you're chronically ill, so there's more work that you need to be doing than the average person, as far as your diet, exercise, your mental health. Like, these are things that they don't consider. They just sit on the internet for hours. They do not let the phone leave them, and they harass healthcare workers. And the other person that I didn't really mention, there you are. We'll wrap it up in like 6 minutes here. I just want to have enough so I can edit some stuff out. But the last thing I wanted to touch on was one of the women that has a pretty big platform about this, and I think you've seen her, the chronic warrior lady. You know her, right?
She's very concerning.
She's one of the main ones. So she doesn't even live in the United States. She does not utilize our healthcare system. She does not understand our healthcare system. She does not know anything about our healthcare system except what her TikTok friends tell her, which it seems they all have very negative experiences, and they don't do anything to remedy this. Just go on the internet and like complain about it. That just perpetuates the problem. It doesn't like say, hey, this is the experience I had with this provider. This is what I need to do to get to the bottom of it. No, they just go and I understand, releasing your frustrations and all that. But when you're making, and I'll put it on the screen here for, people who are watching this later, when you're making video after video like this, where she has my name, my job, look, here's the information everyone was looking for, go get her, that's not advocacy. That's harassment. That is bad behavior. You're an adult. This woman is, apparently she's the only Caucasian woman in all of Canada that has sickle cell. I'm not discounting her, but there's a lot of strange things. And some people have sent me some very concerning videos about this woman. And maybe she's not being 100% honest with her audience, but I feel like the way that she is so aggressive towards nurses and providers is very telling. She has a vendetta with nurses. There's a serious issue she has with nurses. She voices that constantly. And I feel like that, again, how are you an advocate and you hate nurses? Like, you have a hatred towards nurses. That's very toxic.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and it's not going to help them out in the long run. It's not going to change anything. Going through life picking fights.
No, and they're getting themselves sick because of it. Because I would notice, like, I'm a pretty healthy person, other than like I have endometriosis. There's just some chronic stuff that I manage. And, I don't let it get out of control. I certainly don't come to the internet and just talk about it every single video, which everyone can do what they want to do. But I feel like when you center yourself on a problem and you don't look for solutions, you just wallow in it, it's not going to get better. You have to
Yeah.
really come up with solutions, and it's all fighting, fighting, fighting. And we have this amazing tool, the internet, social media, and it's being used to threaten us, to make it so that we don't want to put out valuable information, because this is the kind of stuff that we're approached with. And I just think maybe
Right.
people need to slow down a little bit. If something is on your phone is making you feel so enraged, you got to look inward. There's something there. It's not that stranger that needs to be fired now because you feel an emotion. That's wrong. And then for them to drag all these people with them, because it's a very cult-like mindset with this group for whatever reason. There's a lot of emotions involved. They have a lot of similar backstories, but they turn on each other. They get each other's
Yeah.
medical information and they use it against each other. And I've had several
Yeah.
people come on here, and I've had previous episodes where people have accessed, stuff that they normally wouldn't have access to, because they love bombed the shit out of them when they entered the group. Oh, we're so glad you're here. We all have the same stuff going on with us. And then they're calling hospitals trying to find out if they're really there. That's not okay.
Yeah.
So there has to be a line, there has to be a boundary, and there has got to be consequences.
Yeah. Eventually there's going to have to be a consequence for being abusive towards others like that, and taking it as far as they do. Yeah.
And then pulling the chronically ill card when those consequences start to creep your way. I don't think that's okay. I just don't. And like
No.
I said, you've got all this energy to do all these other things, all this advocacy work that is not advocacy work. It's actually just very emotionally charged, trauma and stuff that you're posting. And, maybe we have to pivot. Maybe that energy needs to go to a different direction. But, we're just mean when we say stuff like this, because we're straightforward and we're blunt, and we're not going to accept that abuse.
No. Yeah. I made it very clear several times that I am going to defend myself.
Yes. And we are
I
allowed to.
don't
Yeah.
have to take this. I'm
I
not.
think I think they think we can't defend ourselves. I think that's the thing. Like, we're nurses, so we have to be quiet. I think that's
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely the advantage that they feel they have.
And there are limits, of course, as far as professionalism. But I'm an ER nurse, so the lines are very blurred. we're just out here saving lives. The rest doesn't really matter. Of course, like, I'm going to respect these people to a point, but when you are going into my real life, calling my DMV, my town hall, they were saying I was posting pictures of dead people, just like, and the whole stuff with my daughter, it's too invasive. I'm
It
not. I'm
is.
not. I'm not. The professionalism has left the building at that point.
Yeah. That's unhinged. That
It is
really
unhinged.
is.
And you got to meet unhinged with a little bit of unhinged, and they haven't liked that. So I've been very much on their neck, metaphorically speaking, this whole time. I will not let up. I will never let up. And I think that they're confused that if they threaten me and harass me and try to do all these things, that I'll go, I'm just going to get louder. And that's just me. So I will die on this hill, quite literally. So
I don't blame you. Good for you.
yeah, but thank you for sharing your story, Brandy, because I want people to understand the reality of this. It's not just one person that's upset that they got me fired from a job. I've had 6 jobs since then. That's not the point. It's the point that that's my career that I worked very hard for as a single mother. Okay, I put myself through nursing school as a single mother, and
So did I.
exactly, and I'm extraordinary at what I do, as are you. And just because an internet personality doesn't like me doesn't mean that I'm unfit for my position. So, I mean, there's a reason they have to call and say things like, you're a rapist, you're stealing medical records, because there's no real reason for us to not be where we're at right now.
Right.
And it's a shame. It's a shame. And I hate that it's come to this, but we're going to be the voices that will change that for sure.
Hopefully, I hope, what I said on here helps somebody learn that, either to be careful, or that if this happens to them, you can stick up for yourself.
You're not alone. And that's another thing I want to highlight real quick. They want you to feel isolated, like nobody's going to help you. You're the bad nurse. You're the bad mom. Nobody likes you. Nobody's going to help you. They're going to really fuck you psychologically. So just as long as you understand that, and like, I want our voices out here so people can see this quickly. When this happened to me, there was nobody talking about this. I was like, what is happening? Why is this happening to me? You know, so I did feel legitimately crazy for a little bit, but then I started looking into who these people were, and the pieces started clicking. Wanted felon, you know, this person has all these crimes. Like, they're all really bad people, and there's a reason for that. They're grifters, a lot of them, and that's why they ended up in a community that people feel sympathy for, because they get money and they get actual tangible things from being part of that. And again, I want to end this episode by saying this is not the entire chronic ill community. A lot of you are victims of these type of people. You don't understand that this is what's happening within your own communities. And a lot of you do, because like I said, the blackmail, the love bombing, the flipping on you when you don't do what they like, that's not normal behavior. And we've got to be very loud about it, and we've got to talk about it, and it's going to be uncomfortable, but something's got to change. The internet's here to stay. This is like part of where we live now. We're here all the time. We've got to clean shit up. We got to clean the streets up. So that's my goal, and I hope the UCLA thing goes through, because that would give me a lot more resources and a lot more like powered behind this, you know, to get the wheels actually rolling and put these people on display. And maybe in another episode we could talk about Nurse Naya. I don't know if you know about her, but
Oh God, yeah, she's very another one who I find very concerning.
She made a video about me that kind of set all this off, because the chronic illness lady, like that's the thing they do. They'll send the videos and say, okay, make a video about this lady, so it looks like a nurse is saying this nurse is bad. It's a whole coordinated effort. So they think we don't know or something. It's very obvious. I'm very good at pattern recognition, and that's one thing that has really put them in the ground with me, because I've documented every fucking thing. I'm a nurse. I document when I take a shit. Okay, I document everything. So I don't know why they think otherwise, but the universe does everything for a reason. They came after the nurses and us particularly for a reason, because we are going to remedy this problem, and it's going to maybe not go away, but it will get better. It will get better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming to talk. I really appreciate you. And then I'll put this up now, and then I'm going to do an edited version, and I'll put all the little clips and everything in it.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you later, Brandy.
See ya.
Bye.